It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and this is CarEdge Live for Tuesday, April 8th, with your hosts, me, Ray Friesen, again here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and my young, handsome son, Zach, sporting a fine-looking hoodie today.
Thank you, Pops. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is chilly here on the East Coast. We're going to be talking about our good friends over at Delete Me in no longer than 10 minutes. That being said, CarEdge.com, folks, get the best deal, save thousands of dollars. A friendly reminder that if you want to get your hands on dealer invoice price, or if you want to skip the dealership, or you want to sell or track the value of your vehicle, you can do all that and so much more back on CarEdge.com. Dad, the big story this morning, and actually before we go to the big story, just want to let everyone know, probably the best Really You've Got to Be Kidding Me is coming up at the end of today's show. So if you don't even want to join us for the whole thing, just tune back in about 20 minutes. The best Really You've Got to Be Kidding Me, I think I've queued up in months, is coming up soon. But Dad, I want to start here. It's been a while since we've really dug in to the latest market insights from Black Book. We also have the latest Manheim insights as well from Cox Automotive. Their Q1 used vehicle value index call just happened yesterday. I want to start here, though, with Black Book, and I want to talk about the bidding war that is going on at the dealer auctions at this very moment and why used car prices are getting expensive again. I want to focus in on this line right here. On Thursday and Friday, several lanes reported 100% conversion rates and robust sales prices driven by highly competitive bidding. Dad, we are seeing 100% of the cars that make it across some of the lanes at the dealer auctions selling. That is unfathomable. Typically, we see 50% conversion rate, 60% conversion rate. This means that those buyers and those sellers are figuring out a way to meet in the middle and make deals. Typically, that means that customers, i.e. the dealers who are bidding up the prices of these vehicles, are bidding them up to a point where it makes sense to finally sell. The prices are going up.
Oh, absolutely. And, there were times when we were checking the market insights and the conversion rate was less than 50%. So if certain lanes, 100% of the vehicles that are running through are getting sold, it's crazy. Nobody expects when they take all their vehicles to the auction, they would love for all of them to sell, but nobody expects all of them to sell. You can look at the raw numbers and see that the amount of increase for last week was historically higher than what we would normally see this time of year. That does not bode well for consumers moving forward. And in this case, the consumers are also the dealers because they're the ones at the auctions. They're going to be asked to pay more, and in turn, they're going to ask their customers to pay more. And it could get out of hand.
Let's look at this chart. So last week's total auction conversion rate was 66%. This chart is showing you what the conversion rate, the sales rates are at dealer auctions. I mean, this goes all the way back. I know it's tiny, but this is January 1st of 2020, all the way over here on the left. You can see what happened during the pandemic. The conversion rates at the auction plummeted, absolutely plummeted. That's what we're looking at right over there. They skyrocketed back up. They were all sorts of volatile, and they've been, since the beginning of 2023, Pops. They've been fairly steady at around 50%. But slowly but surely climbing. Yes. And look at what we just hit, 66%, the high water mark that we've seen in the past couple of years. And to your point, Dad, it's because these dealers need inventory. New car dealers are turning into used car dealers under the threat that they're not going to have as much new car inventory. And the sales rates at the auction are one of the most interesting leading indicators that show us that used car prices are going to go up. You do not sell 100% of the cars that you take to the auction. Typically, you have a floor price. You have a price that you will not sell the car unless it gets bid up higher than. That's typical in an auction. The fact that we have the highest rate of conversion in years, in 2.5, 3 years, big deal, really big deal.
You can look at those conversion rates, and you could almost make a case for like there's been a malaise at the sales at the auctions. It's just we're trudging along at 50%, 53%, 55%. back into the 40s. And now suddenly 66% is a huge jump up. And it just indicates to me that dealers are being more proactive in trying to acquire additional used car inventory, and they are willing to pay more for it because there are concerns about as they sell down their new car inventory on hand, what's the cost of those replacement vehicles going to be? Are they going to be more expensive, which more than likely they are?
Yep.
And B, they need to have a fallback position for those people who come in looking for a new car and then suddenly realize at the prices new cars are, they can't afford one. And so they now must consider a pre-owned.
This is the new normal. Now, let's talk a little bit about the types of vehicles that we're seeing price increases and where those used cars are coming from. We'll start with the types of vehicles, Dad. Subcompact cars actually saw their prices decline week over week. Compact cars were up 0.38%. Midsize cars up at 0.21%. Full-size cars flat. Near luxury cars were the big winner in the car segment, up almost 0.5% week over week. Luxury cars up a little bit. Prestige luxury cars down a little. Sports cars up a little. Premium sports cars up a little as well. Then let's look here at the truck segment. You've got some really big winners. Subcompact crossovers and full-size crossover SUVs increased 0.66% week over week.
Wow.
Cars depreciate, trucks depreciate, SUVs depreciate. Last week at the wholesale dealer auctions, they did not. They increased respectively $74 and $172 on average. This is the same phenomena we saw back during the pandemic, back during the chip shortage. Cars were appreciating, especially those that were in high demand. This is why used cars are getting expensive.
And
Again,
I will make a prediction that those crossovers and the full-size crossovers, you will continue to see those go up in value. And the reason I say that is oil prices are dropping, which means gasoline will get even cheaper. When we have cheap gasoline, people don't mind filling up a full-size SUV because the cost of doing that just suddenly became affordable. Nobody thinks about, well, what's going to happen when oil prices go up and gasoline prices go up. So we could be in a short range window here where people are once again overpaying for gas guzzling SUVs because oil is cheap and gas will be cheaper. And then suddenly when the oil hits the fan and prices go up, and then people are going to be looking to dump those things going, well, I need something that gets better gas mileage. I mean, I've lived through that I don't know how many times.
Dad, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor really quickly, but then I'm going to put a trivia contest out there for everyone. We're going to be talking about the mix of used cars that are making it to the wholesale auctions. And it is critically important that you understand this data because it's going to inform your buying decision. Before we go there, though, Pops,
Yes.
Data brokers, we're talking about the data that I want to be talking about, but data brokers, they're out there selling our information online and anyone can buy it. Things like your phone number, your social security number, your home address, and so much more are sold online. Those data brokers are selling those things to marketers, scammers, and what, Dad? Who?
People in between. And
We
I
don't know
don't
who
even
they
know
are.
who those in-betweeners are. But man, I'd like to get my hands on them.
Absolutely. Delete Me, the sponsor of today's show, helps you take control over your data. My dad and I both use Delete Me to remove our personal information from hundreds of data brokers on our behalf. You can do the same thing, and you can get started today and get 20% off with the coupon code CarEdge, or go to joindeleteme.com/CarEdge. Dad, they're just taking my listings off the internet every single month. Appreciate so much that I have Delete Me here to help us out. Thank you, Delete Me, for your continued support of the channel. Dad, I want to put you on the spot here and everyone in the CarEdge community. What percentage, we're going to go back on the machine, the old history machine here. What percentage of used cars that were getting sold at the dealer auctions back in 2020, what percentage were 0 to 3 years old? So pre-pandemic, what percentage of 0 to 3 year old used cars were getting sold at the dealer auctions? What do you think? Put some guesses in the chat. Do you think 1 out of every 10 used cars that was sold at the dealer auction was a 0 to 3-year-old used car? Do you think it was 20%, 100%? What do you think?
I'm going to say it was 30%.
So we've got Edgar saying it was 30%. We've got Turbo Diesel saying it was 20%. Pops, your educated guess is 30%. David saying 40%, 35% from Dan, 62% from Brandon, 18%, 40%, 20%, 60%. Dad, you ready to be shocked?
Yeah, I love a good shock.
It was 51%.
Whoa! I haven't been shocked like that in years.
All right, well, I'll give you a chance at redemption here. What percentage of 0 to 3-year-old vehicles do you think are being sold at the dealer auction so far this year? What do you think? We know it was 51% back in 2021. What do you think? Or 2020, excuse me.
18%.
You think 18%. What do we think here in 2025, folks? 12%. We got 18%, 10%, 25%. You ready?
Yeah.
33%. 1 out of every 3 used cars right now, it's got you right there, is between 0 to 3 years old. Again, back in 2020, it was 51%. The average age of a used car being sold at the wholesale dealer auction back in 2020 was 5.3 years old. The average age of a used car getting sold at the dealer auction today, 6.7 years old. So that's the first data point that I want to touch on here. We've got used cars getting more expensive.
And older.
They're older.
And older, yeah. Wow. That's some crazy stuff right there.
And you can obviously see here, Dad, the gray column or the gray segment, that's going to be your 10 years or older vehicles. Your orange is 7 to 10-year-old vehicles. And those segments are taking up a significantly larger share of this chart here. And we're also obviously seeing a larger share of 4 to 6-year-old. Really, the collapse has been in those 0 to 3-year-olds. So we've got much older vehicles making it to the dealer auction. The other way that we look at what type of vehicles are getting to the dealer auctions and ultimately onto the dealership lots is where those vehicles are coming from. Look at the repo check-in index, Dad. We are at 119% compared to 2019. So if in 2019, 100 vehicles made it to the dealer auction from repo, we are now at, and then in 2022, it's telling us that only 69%. So 69 vehicles would have made it. We're up to 119 vehicles have made it. We are well above, significantly above the number of vehicles that were pre-pandemic making it to the dealer auction that were repossessed.
Wow.
So you've got older, more repossessed vehicles making it to the dealer auctions and ultimately making it onto dealership lots.
The condition of those cars must be suspect at best.
Yeah, so speak to that a little bit, Dad. We're seeing 100% sales rates at some of the dealer auctions, and we know that they're older vehicles and more than likely larger subset are repossessed vehicles. What does that make you think as a former car sales dealer? Like, that can't be good.
Well, no, it makes you, for those of us who spent some time in the business, we already know that the condition reports of vehicles at the sales, the conditions reported for so many of the used cars today are so much worse than they've ever been. Vehicles are going through the sales in conditions that they normally wouldn't have even made it to the sale in the past. So repos, especially, I mean, if somebody can't afford to make their car payment, you think they're taking it to Jiffy Lube to get that oil change when they need it? You think they ever ran it through a car wash? The only car wash it goes through is Nature's Car Wash when it rains. The likelihood of maintenance being done on a repossessed vehicle prior to it being repossessed is limited at best. So you're talking about vehicles that are in probably the worst mechanical shape, and cosmetically could be in some very bad conditions.
And then what are the other sources for used vehicles making it back to the dealer auctions? Rental cars, which look at this, guys. We're at 66% of rental cars back compared to 2019. So there are fewer rental cars, which is generally, I'd say, a good thing. Rental cars get driven into the ground. We're not huge fans of buying previously rented vehicles. And then the big kicker here, Dad, lease check-in. We're at 39%.
Yeah.
And off-lease vehicles are some of the best, highest quality used cars in the market. So this whole conversation could be different if there was 100% sales rates going on at some of the dealer auctions and used car prices were going up and the quality of the used cars were great. Like this was not 100 or not 39%, it was 139%. It's a different conversation. But we're talking about older, significantly older,
Yes.
and more repossessed vehicles commanding more and more of a premium at the auctions, which ultimately manifests itself in higher asking prices for consumers. The full-blown bidding war is happening right now. And quite frankly, until like there's some sort of resolution on tariffs, I think that's going to be the reality. That's the new normal, right? Like that is the new normal.
It would seem to me that it would be. And let's face it, dealers, we've had this conversation before. Dealerships tend to be reactive, not proactive. Okay. So dealers see the advent of tariffs and what that might mean moving forward. So the reaction is buy up whatever used cars you can at whatever price you have to pay for them. I want used cars on the lot. That's a reactive approach. That is not somebody who looked at the market for the last 60 or 90 days and was reading between the tea leaves, as we like to say, and saying, okay, there's the threat of tariffs. How do we want to proceed going forward based on that potential threat? And proactive dealers would have been stocking up on cars prior to the tariffs going into effect and buying them at the right price, as opposed to the reactive dealers that are buying them at a much higher price and are contributing by overbidding for them.
I hear you. And also some of the automakers that are sending mixed signals. Some are doing employee pricing to try and liquidate existing inventory. Others are saying, hey, we're going to stop sending you shipments of new vehicles for the foreseeable future. So it's hard to say, proactive, reactive. The whole situation is very fluid and very volatile. And the outcome, the thing that we need to be familiar with and comfortable with is the idea that this is going to increase used car prices, which is a great reminder that, folks, if you are going to sell a car, please go to CarEdge.com. Please check what your vehicle is worth before you do. CarEdge.com/sell or /car-value. Please, please, please avail yourselves of these free resources before you sell your vehicle, because now is a seller's market for used cars. It is certainly not a buyer's market. That is becoming more clear as we get more and more data from Manheim, as we get more and more data from Black Book. Again, the big headline today on Thursday and Friday, several lanes reported 100% conversion rates and robust sales prices driven by highly competitive bidding. The used car market is changing. Dad, let's come here to the chat and then let's switch gears.
Yes.
We've got here from Baron. Thank you, Baron. Houston, stolen cars, chop shop takes parts, frame impounded by cops, sold by cops, $3,000 with clean title, thieves buy it, put parts back on, and sell, beware. I don't know what the heck I just read.
Yeah. I'm not buying anything in Houston anytime soon.
I guess that's the takeaway there. And I don't know. Maybe I need an MBA or something. That business plan doesn't quite make sense to me. We've got, you okay, Dad?
Yeah, I'm just choking. If my head hits the table, call the front desk.
Will do, Dad.
Yes.
From Igor, thank you, Igor. I told you all that, Zach, from last Friday's auction at Manheim. The values are up. Absolutely. We've got from Martin. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, CarEdge. Yeah, you helped me save over $11,000 with my new C8 Corvette. Details on the CarEdge success stories. So caredge.com/community. That's awesome to hear. And then from Mr. C Northeast, not a great time to buy. Wait for the dust to settle on tariffs, which affects used car prices. I don't know. I'm up in the air on this, man. We know the chicken tax has had a 25% tariff on light trucks, on full-size trucks and trucks here in the United States. That is just the new normal. Like, part of me wonders if this is just going to be the new normal. And if that is the case, I hate to say it, but you should go buy something yesterday, because this is the new normal. Used cars are just going to be more expensive.
Everything's going to be more expensive. It's not just cars. It's everything. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was an article I was reading today about with new tariffs on Canadian lumber. The cost of Canadian lumber for people who are looking to remodel or build a new house, the tariff doubled, which means the cost of lumber just went up. So everything. Would you have been better off buying the lumber 2 weeks ago or waiting 2 more weeks to buy it?
It's keep it focused on cars here. And when it
Yeah,
comes
but
to
you know
cars,
that lumber is used to build the garage for that damn car. So the cost of garaging that oh, forget it.
the key takeaway here is lots of uncertainty. However, look at this from Home 123. My 2022 Honda Pilot lease ends in August. Pay off $32,000 in CarMax is at $36,400. You were right about used car prices. I may sell it. Let's keep it just focused on cars here, gang. Let's try our best. That's a perfect example. You should
Exactly.
be tracking your vehicle value every other week. I mean,
And
there's no this is just like what we went through. What was it, like 4 or 5 years ago during the pandemic, Dad?
yes, and that's another example of um, a used Honda Pilot that that was leased that will not make it back to the dealer,
Yeah.
but will make it to CarMax. So, and many people, somebody can look at that and go, well, if it's worth 36 wholesale to CarMax, it's probably worth close to 39,000 on a retail level, and I can buy it for 32. Why don't I just buy it?
Yeah, I
And it
think a lot
never
of
makes
people
it to the used car market anywhere.
are going to do just like what we saw a couple of years ago. They're going to buy
Yes,
out their leases. Again, this is a movie we've all watched. This movie was on Stars Network 4.5 years ago, folks. We all watched it. It was on HBO, whatever. Used car prices are already going up. We're seeing it at the auctions. Quite frankly, we're seeing more volatility in used car pricing right now than new car pricing. All the
yes,
manufacturers, for the most part, are staying steady with the exception of Ferrari and Ineos, who have said that they're going to raise prices. So, I mean, used cars are reacting more quickly here, which makes sense because there's an ongoing daily auction for what the value is of those. And the expectation is that they will continue to go up. You do not have 100% sell through rates at the auction lane and expect prices to go down. That means it is critically important. I'm going to promote it again. You need to be tracking your vehicle value. We've got a free tool for that, caredge.com. Click on what's my car worth and keep tracking it. We've been building that for years now. Thank goodness we have it. Dad, we're going to go early to our
yes.
favorite segment of the show. And I want to let everyone know there's two pieces to today's. We're going to lead with the less funny of the two. So you got to stick around for the second one. All right.
Really? You've got to be kidding me.
All right. I follow a gentleman named Zarin over on X. Have we thought about a Land Cruiser backed dollar? Thought that was pretty funny. Look at what we are seeing, Dad. Toyota Land Cruisers. Igor shared some information with me about how Land Cruisers, the old ones,
Yeah.
are selling at the auctions. A 1988 Toyota Land Cruiser, 177,000 miles on it, 78 grand is the asking price. We've got a 1996 one with 221,000 miles on it,
No, nobody.
$82,990.
Stop it. Nobody's doing that. Come on.
1986 Land Cruiser, 117,000 miles on it, 64.9. That's more reasonable.
Are,
And
are these in pesos? Come on. These aren't US dollars.
oh, this is a funny one. Dollar Cruiser. 1995 Toyota Land Cruiser, only 322,000 miles on it, 63 grand.
No, come on. This is a joke. Stop it. This isn't real. Is this a parody account of some kind?
No, Zarin's a real guy. He's actually really well educated in the auto industry, and this is the insanity of the current Land Cruiser market, Pops.
Why would anybody spend anywhere near $63,000 for a Land Cruiser with 322,000? I mean, and here's the really good news, ladies and gentlemen. The estimated monthly payment's only $1,352. And just between you and me, what bank's writing a loan on a 30-year-old Land Cruiser with 322,000 miles on it? Yeah, there's some quality vehicle that we want to hold.
Dad,
Oh
you
my
know
God.
who's writing the financing. Our friends over at Riz Lending, to be clear, not
Not
our
Riz
friends. I
Lending.
just think the name is hilarious. Up to
Yeah.
20-year financing, Dad. For
Excuse
your
me? Is that 20-year financing for some of those used Land Cruisers? Oh my God.
solutions for exotic and collector cars. Dad, just go to Riz for your 20-year mortgage on your, wait for it. Yeah, this one. Your $83,000 1996 Toyota Land Cruiser with 221,000 miles. What is unreasonable about this to you, Dad?
Oh my God. Oh my, and I thought I had Riz. Okay. um, but come on, no, really. They're writing 20-year loans on collector vehicles, and people are literally asking $83,000 for 35 and 40-year-old Land Cruisers. Um, where please, somebody explain to me how any of this makes any sense at all. What has happened to the critical thinking skills of the American people? What are we doing here?
Dad, I also, one more thing on Riz, and then we're switching gears. I hate this name, but I also love it. Typical bank, $3,589. Riz payment, $2,172. Monthly savings,
Do you know
$1,417.
why that is? Because at the typical bank, you would have been financing it for 84 months. Okay. And that's why the payment's so high. But if you finance it at Riz for, I don't know, 20 years, 20 flipping years, okay, that's what, 240 months? Yeah, no wonder your payment's a lot cheaper. But what are you paying in interest over that 20 years? Oh my God, it's like a mortgage for, when you buy a house and you look at a 30-year mortgage and you go, okay, so I bought the house for $300,000, and with the mortgage, and if I hold and I pay the mortgage over the 30 years, that $300,000 house cost me $660,000. Okay. And the difference is that hopefully at the end of the 30 years, that $300,000 house might be worth 700,000 or 800 or $1 million, whatever it may be. But a 240-month note on a car, okay? So I bought the car for $150,000, and I paid $320 over the course of 20 years, and now the piece of poop is worth 10 grand. What's where? Boy, Dave Ramsey would be upset with any of those people. I know I'm upset with any of those. That's pure lunacy.
All right, and this was the least funny aspect of today's Girl, you've got to be kidding me. We've got from Rich here. Thank you, Rich. We appreciate it. Ray, remember the $2 million banana? It's a thing. People got money, Pops.
Apparently, some people that have money don't have brains, and you have to wonder how they were able to get that money. Was it simply inherited money? I'm sorry.
All right, you ready here?
Yeah.
We've got a recall update. So if you're unfamiliar, here on this channel, we keep track of the NHTSA recall to see which automaker is going to lead the league in recalls. And typically it's either Ford or Chrysler, part of Stellantis. Dad, we have a shocking development, and I would ask you and our community, how many, it's Ford. Ford's leading right now. Okay, that's not the shocking part. Ford is leading the league in recalls. I want you to guess how many recalls Ford has right now, and then General Motors is second. Okay, so I want you to guess how many recalls Ford has and how many recalls General Motors have right now.
We're in April. So we've gone through like 12 weeks, 13 weeks, 14 weeks, 30 recalls for Ford.
Okay, and how many do you think General Motors has?
20.
Okay, so we've got here 12 and 8, Ford 20, GM 12, 27, 25. You ready?
Yeah.
Ford has 35 recalls so far this year.
Yeah.
General Motors coming in at second with 8.
Ooh, I would say that Ford is building a commanding lead, such a lead that even in the second half of the season, they might not be able to lose it, even if they don't recall another vehicle. Oh my goodness gracious!
I mean, this game's over at the half, man. like they won. You don't even have to come out for the second. They have 4 times as many recalls as any other automaker so far this year.
Oh my God, that is just incredible. But the one thing that we have to remember is with the advent of employee pricing on on most Fords. When you do that, then obviously quality becomes job none, and once again they're proving it.
That's just shocking, man. I never thought I'd see that chart with that big of a disparity between number 1 and number 2. I mean, it just says something is going wrong over at Ford, and it's very much a pattern at this point, because obviously we've been documenting it for the past few years. Ford has either been number 1 or number 2 in terms of recalls.
It's like the score at halftime of a Suns game when they play the Boston Celtics, and you look at it in halftime and you go, well, there's no way they can come back from this. And God bless my beloved Suns, they've proven that consistently, that there is no way they can come back from that. And I'm try as GM might, I don't know how they ever catch Ford. Even if Ford doesn't have another recall all year long, think about it, 35 recalls in the first quarter. We're on pace for 140 recalls, ladies and gentlemen, for Ford. That, I believe, would have to be some type of record.
I think it would be as well. And just to give some context here, some of these are large recalls, some of these are small recalls. So we had a recall back on March 31st. This was for an engine issue, engine and engine cooling. It only impacted 4,163 vehicles. A rapid oil leak can cause an engine stall, etc. 152 vehicles were impacted by a powertrain issue here. This was, wait for it, engine may overheat. Incorrect fuse impacting 47 vehicles. We had a seatbelt issue that's impacting 105 vehicles.
Well,
when
it impacts 47 vehicles, and let's assume all 47 of them have been sold, it should be relatively easy to track down those 47 people.
Yeah.
You would think.
You can see some of these are relatively small, 269.
Doesn't matter. If there's one for 2, well, if you're one of those 2 people, you don't think it's small.
Yeah.
You think you're going back to the dealership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it affects one person or a million people, the one person impacted, it gives them a bad feeling about the vehicle that they bought.
Absolutely. And with good reason. Absolutely. With good reason. All right, folks, that's today's show. If we can help you out with anything, CarEdge.com. Again, dealer invoice, price, skipping the dealership, selling your car. Under research, got so many great things like the free Windows sticker, best new car deals, see what others paid, car calculators, lease deals, tariff checker. We got the car search working all its magic as well. So please, folks, if we can help you out with anything, check it out, CarEdge.com. And we'll be back tomorrow with more CarEdge Live.
Wow. And if you want to bury yourself in your next car loan, Riz Finance, Riz Lending, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have the charisma everybody's looking for when you finance through Riz Lending.
Yeah. You're going to need some charisma to help out after you that buried. All right, Dad, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody.